Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Techno-Viper. I am excited for this one. I was never a huge fan of the Techno-Viper. I think it was after kind of towards the end of my time. I don't remember getting it new. I have him almost complete, but I love the purple. It just pops. So here we are. Again, this window packaging is going to be ending. I like it. I really wish they wouldn't do away with it. The new one just kind of looks bland. But here we can kind of see everything that he has. We have the actual figure, the purple. I think the silver Cobra logo just pops there. You have his gun, his tools, his backpack, and then he has sidearm, and then obviously his, not cable, what do you call it? Cable, I don't know. You know what I mean. It is number 117 in the line. We had 117 figures, absolutely crazy. We got the QR code that leads you to hell, and then that's his file card. And then on the back, we have him using his little digital displays, kind of like holographic thing, kind of like Tony Stark. He's holding some of the stuff. It looks like he's in maybe Japan, China, something like that. If you can read that, you can tell me exactly where it's at. So anyway, I think this artwork looks awesome. I know they're going to still have something similar to it on the new packaging, but really I was fine with this. Anyway, let's get to this. We're going to compare them to the O-ring figure because I know you guys really like seeing that, and because I have so many of them, it's something that I get to do, and I notice a lot of things on the original O-ring that I never saw before because of doing this stuff. So anyway, let's just get into it. But before we do, listen, if you like this type of content, you like G.I. Joe stuff, take a second, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell notification, and you're notified every time I drop a video. And once again, I don't know why I point. I don't put anything there for you to click. Just go do that stuff. Now let's look. All right, so we got him out of his plastic prison, and here we can see the O-ring. We can see the regular one here. So let's take a look at everything and we can kind of quickly compare it. So let me see if I can take this out without snapping a thumb. All right, so as you can see, I only have two of the actual tools here and his gun. I don't have the cable anymore, so but we can live without that. So first off, we'll take a look at his gun, and it is bent. Again, let's see how flimsy it is. You know, the barrel seems flimsy. Stock actually, again, it is soft, but it's still pretty hard where that stays in place. It's unfortunate, but there's only so much you can do, and as you can see, I pretty much already straightened it right back. So quickly looking at the two. Now you can clearly see that's what it is, but they sure made the original one way more flat, which was actually kind of cool, but since no one really knows what it is and how it works. So here's your ray gun. It has a port for blast effects. You can see where the weird type of scope is. You just have the same details up top there. Where the cable goes is more of a handle, but it's still in the same spot. You now have a trigger and trigger guard. And then even on the back, the stock is still very similar. So it just has that very distinct rectangle look to it. Not rectangle, triangle look to it. So and we have these tools here. Now, again, not having one, I'm not sure exactly which one is which. So I believe these two are the exact same. And oddly enough, they're like, well, the classified one is actually smaller than the original one, which is actually kind of comical. So I would say this is this one. Okay, so the details there, they gave it way more details. Same look, same hook on it. That is where it's going to plug into. It is straight. And why am I showing you this one? You know, but it is straight. Again, very pliable. All right, look at that. You can kind of even do the weight or the worm with it. Anyway, but it goes back to where it needs to be. I can deal with that. It's not my favorite thing, but it could be worse. And then we have the pneumatic hammer. Again, classified one is actually smaller than the O-ring one. That is very comical. It has the same look, but the classified one has way more detail to it. Again, it looks better, to be honest, but the fact that it's smaller is funny. But there you go. Same thing with this one, flexible. And then you have more of a claw. And I do remember having this. I don't know how I lost mine, but it does have a little claw to it. You can see the teeth on it. Nice little detail. I do like the fact that they went with black rather than silver. Just my personal opinion. Then you have the air hose. Alright, this is going to plug in. Probably the same one that we got with Mindbender. But I like the fact that it's painted silver. It just gives a little bit more pop to it. Then we get his pistol, which I know we've had in the past. Blast effect. I'm sorry, port for blast effect. This looks, pretty nice. I want to say it came with the bat, but I don't think that's right. It is flexible. Then we got the backpack here. And we can compare it to the original here. So it only comes with one hose, but it looks like there's 2 spots. So you can probably fire the weapon, and then you can use one of the tools. You have a handle, which I just realizing right now that it's a handle. Told you, don't like these things you don't think about. Just has the 3 slots, the handle. I love the fact that they painted the bottles purple, and then they went with the, which I believe is the gauge. They went with it silver, so it just gives a little bit of pop, but it's the exact same. And then you have this new detail, which is the, it's kind of like what Tony Stark uses, Iron Man uses. It's supposed to be like a heads-up holograph. You can see a Cobra symbol on it and some other stuff, so it's probably, whatever he's fixing, whatever he's working on, and that's going to plug into his arm. So now let's take a look at the figure. I can't believe that these are actually bigger than classified. Alright, so a little bent up out of here. Let's bring this out a little bit so we can get the whole figure in frame. Let's raise it just a little bit. Alright, so the first thing you're going to look at, and the first thing you're going to notice, and if you don't, you will forevermore after this, is he has a Cylon look from Battlestar Galactica. And I'm talking about the 70s show. Not the exact same, but it definitely can work as a 70s. Also, kind of has some of the Mandalorian look. And I don't mean from, not the Mandalorian, but from the actual show The Mandalorian, where there's a bunch of different ones. So, he has these nice green eyes that just pop out. The black, the silver, the purple, it all works together. So there's a lot of paint mixed in between these two. It looks like there's only three different colors: silver, black, and purple. But it's hard to mess that up. Paint seems to be real nice. A stripe down the back. Let's see, he has these shoulder pauldrons. Alright, so it looks like it probably won't affect it because they kind of move up there. I love the silver, just the silver Cobra symbol. It just really pops off. Holster for his pistol. Here's his heads up. That's where we're going to plug it into. You can do it on either side because the guy's been working a lot, doing different things, so he's got to be touching his stuff. God, that sounded wrong. I didn't mean it like that. So anyway, here's the head. He can look up to an extent and look down. Kind of wiggles back and forth. He does have the ab crunch. And he's actually pretty solid. He can twist back and forth. Nice T-pose, even with the pauldrons right there. You got your bicep. There's your double pinless elbows. And again, if you're wondering why I'm going through this, hey, we all have classifieds. There's a lot of new people coming into line. A lot of new people. So, I go over the articulation, your wrists, Jean-Claude Van Damme, drop down hips. Now these are actually going to start coming in handy for the different vehicles that we're getting. The legs feel nice and solid. No gumminess to it. They moved nice and freely. It's hard to be upset with anything like this. I think it's about time they're starting to get that. You got your thigh swivel, boot cut, ankle rockers. I mean, this figure, I believe there's a lot of new tooling to it. Now we'll already be getting a second version of them. We know, so. All right. So there we go. Let's compare him to the O-ring, and then we will suit him up. So as you can see, it is a darker purple, which I really don't have a problem with, not at all. Still has the silver Cobra symbol. You got the tubing. That's, I'm going to assume, some sort of rebreather, some sort of oxygen that's going to run from his belly all the way to his back. And then it's also on the top there, right? And you can see he's got the padding around his shoulders. Now they gave him these pauldrons, which are supposed to mimic what he had right here. Matter of fact, let's pop these on here again. If you look at them, like I said, you never really notice this stuff till you're doing stuff like this, and you can see what they did. They tried to recreate it right there. So, nice job doing the pauldrons. He has the pneumatic air hoses. It looks like right up here. So they really give him this, but they gave him these gauntlets that are going to signify stuff. No knee pads on the original. Does have the nice black boots, and they really did represent that pretty well. And then over on the side here, he does have a side arm, which we'll put this side arm. So let's arm him up really quickly. See how hard it is, see if there's any issues. So we're going to throw this on here. All right. And as of now, we're just going to throw all of these in here just for the hell of it. I wonder if this will fit. So those will fit pretty nicely. I don't know if they actually plug in. Nope, they do not plug in there. They're too thin. All right. So throw these on here. Now, hey, maybe a mind bender. You want to throw a second hose on, you can. It does plug on just nice and easy there. Now, I was always under the assumption that these went up high, but I'm going to say that would be wrong on this figure. See, on the original figure, they definitely seem too high like that, but that's how I always assumed that they were supposed to go. But I'm going to put it down, see how that works. All right, you can put it on either side here. I'll pop his gun on here. Remember, he's got a trigger. He's got that trigger guard. So you got to always get that finger in there. Do not, listen, if you're going to post pictures or anything, do not post pictures with that trigger finger on the other side of the trigger guard. That is just lazy, not even bothering trying to take the picture properly. So the hose is extremely small if it's up top like that. There's no doubt there. So we'll have to play around with that. We'll have to look at some pictures and see how they actually have it. But I just think it makes more sense either way, no matter where it's at, it doesn't matter because the hose is just too small. So spin that. Take this here. See how this goes up here. And you're going to get some pretty cool readings. I guess you can maybe see the readout of the battlefield, so he can pass it on to Cobra. He does pose pretty well. I mean, it wasn't hard for me to pose him like this. He's actually really solid. Nothing is loose on him, which is good, because if you've been watching my other reviews, I've had a bunch coming from, I believe, what, maybe not, Duke Rakondo was really loose. So, but right away, I got a pretty good pose for him. Hey, when I get a great pose, I'm like, I don't want to change anything. But there you go, man. That is a look at your Techno-Viper, and compared to the O-ring. Hey, you know what? Something I can do. Kind of makes things a little bit different, but I think most of you guys enjoy it, so. And then, like, again, the pneumatic stuff. You can easily just hold this, and we're going to get him working on a his tank. I will say this, with they are really, 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 really loose. I mean, not loose. Very, very flimsy, so that's not the greatest. Now, I don't know really what he's using for a pneumatic wrench. It's not twisting anything, so I don't know if it's doing any work. I understand the hammer, but in all honesty, unless it's just pinching something really tight, not really sure. Also, I don't know why he would be holding this, looking at the battlefield or in a battle position if he's going to work on a his tank. So, there you go. That is your, that's a look at your Techno-Viper Classified. Okay, so my final first thought on this figure is I like him. I love the look. I love the purple. I like the weapons. This is just a cool looking figure. And before anyone says anything, yes, I know the backpack is technically on upside down. That's how I've always had my Techno-Viper. I've always had it with the tools up, and I just think it looks cooler. So listen, as I said about how you put the ammo cams on the Vamp, hey, no one is coming to your house to take your little toy if you do something differently. But that's beside the point. I just think this figure is cool. I love the weapons, and again, giving him that Tony Stark Iron Man like display is just cool. It can be done. It can do so much for your display or your pictures or just everything that you're going to do. So there you go. That is my feeling on this Techno-Viper. Alright, so there you have it. That is the Techno-Viper. What did I say it was? 117. Can you believe we're at 117 figures already? Absolutely crazy. And there's actually a few more than 117 because there's a couple of 2-packs and even a 3-pack that, well, guess what? We have more figures. So anyway, listen, that's my feeling on it. And again, I compared them to the O-ring, something a little bit different than a lot of other people don't get a chance to do. So I just think it's cool that I can show you guys and kind of make me a little bit different than the other reviewers. Because I know there's a lot of reviewers, guys. And if you're still here and you're listening, there's a lot of reviewers. And people like who they like. And hey, you know what? Put that person on. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps them out. But listen, before I leave, I'm going to say, if you're on Instagram, A Punk with Toys, you'll see 2 of them. Subscribe to both. You're going to see 2 different types of content, but similar content also. Facebook group page, Punks with Toys, because once you join, you're a punk with toys. And like I said, last but not least, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a G.I. Joe video. Now I'm going to get out of here, but don't go anywhere, because right here is going to be the Retro Scarlet, and down here is the classified playlist of everything that I've done. Take care.